Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the campus of Kansas City, Kansas Community College, where the Blue Devils will be hosting the Johnson County Community College Cavaliers. A battle in the KJCCC Baseball Conference. Johnson County and Cowley County tied with a record of 14-2. And right along behind them, Kansas City, Kansas with a 17-3 record. So we'll play two games here at KCK today, and then on Saturday, play two at Johnson County. Orlando Ortiz takes his 2.38 ERA to the mound. Santiago at third, Bednar at short, Harder at second, Hinestroza at first. From left to right in the outfield, Henry, Acosta, and Harrison. From left to right behind the plate is JT Goodfellow. Starting lineup for Kent Shelley's Cavaliers, his 32nd year as the head coach at Johnson County. And Coach Golbeck in his fourth year. The Blue Devils are 30-8 on the season, 17-3 in conference. The Cavaliers are 33-4 overall and 14-2 in the conference. Landon Wood is going to lead it off for the Cavaliers. He's the center fielder. He starts the day batting .443. Comes the first pitch, and it's a strike called. So we're underway here, the 1 o'clock game. The first game is a scheduled 7-inning game, the second one a 9. 0-1 the count on Wood. Must have been a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike to the center fielder, Wood. It's a foul ball down the first base line. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the left-handed leadoff hitter, number 12, Landon Wood, for the Cavaliers. Comes the 1-2, just a little bit low and inside. So 2 balls and 2 strikes on Wood. Comes the wind and the 2-2. Just a little bit low. So 3-2 the count. Orlando Ortiz 2, Landon Wood. Comes the 3-2. There's a ball hit up the middle and past Harder, so a lead-off hit. Makes a hard turn at second, but will go back for a lead-off single. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Anthony Amicangelo. He begins the day batting .547. He will step in with a runner at first and nobody out. Throw over back in safely. A little bit high, ball 1, 1-0. That ball gets underneath Goodfellow. Believe didn't have the angle I'd like to see on that. Very likely a pass ball rather than a wild pitch. Runner moves to second, 2-0 the count. Umpire not liking something he's hearing from the dugout. One of the things that has changed over the last 20 or 30 years as I have watched baseball change is that the umpires hear so much more. 30 years ago, we were taught, hey, you don't listen to any of that stuff. You just do your job. And now they've got to squash everything, it seems like. Just my opinion. So a little bit of a discussion going on between the coach and the home plate umpire. So that is over with, and 2-0 the count is on Amicangelo. There's a ground ball headed up the middle, Bednar up with it and over to first base. The runner moves to third, so 1 out and a runner at third for Anthony Slaughter. Slaughter's the catcher. He starts the day batting .460. He'll step in with 1 out and a runner at third. Strike called. It's a high chopper up the middle. It gets over Ortiz. It's going to be an infield hit. Hello. All right, get my camera all set here. Had to make a little bit of a change. Runners at first and second. There's a throw over to first. Back in safely is Slaughter. Slaughter with a high chopper that just gets over the top of Orlando Ortiz. So 1 out, runners at the corners. Malik Williams batting .328 as he starts the day, the first baseman. Strike right through there. 0-1 the count. Comes the stretch and the 0-1. Foul ball on a check swing, so 0-2 the count. Ortiz ahead of Malik Williams, the first baseman for the Cavaliers of Johnson County. Comes the stretch and the 0-2. Foul ball over the first base dugout, lined out of play. Sunny, cool day here in Kansas City, Kansas. The wind out of the south and blowing out to left field. Comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Chris Esposito, the shortstop. He begins the day batting .359. He'll step in with 2 outs, runners at the corners. Landon Wood at third and Slaughter at first. 2 outs. throw over to first, back in safely is Slaughter. Swing and a miss. 0-1 the count. Comes the 0-1. Outside. And out, so the runner started to go, get him picked off, and while in the rundown, get the out at third. So 2 hits in the inning, a leadoff hit, no damage done as far as scored. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, to the bottom of the first we go. Coach Goldbeck's going with Harder, Hinestroza, Santiago, Sosa, Goodfellow, Bednar, Henry, Harrison, and Acosta. So Trace Harder, the second baseman, will step in, number 13. He begins the day batting .349. He will go against Zachary Ebert on the mound, and that just misses a little inside. Ebert's ERA, right-hander for the Cavaliers, 2.74. Ball up the middle, shortstop has it, and over to Williams at first. So Esposito to Williams for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Eric Hinestroza, the first baseman. He'll step in on the left-handed side. He starts the day batting .356, takes a called strike one. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, so 0-2 quickly down in the count is Hinestroza. Low and outside, ball one. 1-2 the count. Outside, ball two. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out to Eric Hinestroza. Ground ball up the middle. And I believe he missed that one, but he gets to make the call, and he's got him out down there. That was very close. The second baseman, Wood, with the throw over to Williams for the second out. That's going to bring up Kevin Santiago. Santiago, the third baseman, number 26. He starts the day batting .342. Takes strike one called. Ebert works quickly. There's strike 2 called right through there. Just misses low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Santiago. Comes the 1-2. Pop up out into right center. Ball taken care of by the center fielder, Landon Wood. We go to the top of the second. No score. All right, so here we go to the top of the second. Esposito will step back in after the out on the rundown, the third out of the inning. Foul ball down the third baseline. 0-1 the count on the shortstop, Chris Esposito. Starts the day batting .359. Pitches a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ortiz back for his second inning of work. Comes the 1-1 outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count. Strike at the knees, outside corner. 2-2 the count. Early going here, strong wind out of the south. Sunshiny day but cool. Here comes the 2-2. Little bit low, ball 3. So 3-2 the count. Ortiz to Esposito. Going to be strike 3 called. Fastball right on the outside corner at the knees. That's going to bring up Jacob Owens, the left fielder. He starts the day batting .346. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on as the Cavaliers bat here in the top of the second. First game of 7, inning game. High and inside, ball 1. Comes the 1-0. A little bit outside, 2-0 the count. Comes the 2-0. Strike at the knees on the outside corner. 2-1. Strike 2 at the knees. Outside corner again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Comes the wind and the 2-2. Swing and a miss for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Garrett Wood. He's the second baseman. He starts the day batting .378. He'll step in with 2 outs, nobody on. Ground ball back to Ortiz. Toss over to Hinestrosa at the end of 1.5. No score. Here we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Ebert back for his second inning of work. He's scheduled to face Sosa, Goodfellow, and Bednar for the Blue Devils. Jose Sosa, the designated hitter, he'll step in batting .333. Ball 1 high. Comes the wind in the 1-0 from Ebert. Ball lifted high into center field. Over to take care of that is Landon Wood for the first out. That'll bring up the catcher, JT Goodfellow. He starts the day batting .317. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on. Foul ball back to the net. 0-1 the count on Goodfellow. One ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Comes the wind in the 1-2. In the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Goodfellow batting with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. No score in the early going. Called strike. That pitch just makes the strike zone. So called out on strikes is Goodfellow. That's going to bring up Bednar. Kemper Bednar, the shortstop. He starts the day batting .383. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on to face Johnson County's pitcher Ebert. Swing and a miss. Comes the 0-1. Just a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kemper Bednar. Breaking ball stays inside just a little bit. 2 balls and a strike. Comes the 2-1. Foul ball back to the screen. Comes the 2-2. Ground ball headed for right field. That's going to be a base hit, a 2-out hit for Kemper Bednar. It's going to bring up Tyler Henry. Tyler Henry, the left fielder, he starts the day batting .336. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first base. 2-out hit by Bednar. Ball low. Comes the 1-0. Stays a little bit high. So 2-0 the count to Tyler Henry. Throw to first, nothing doing over there. Back in safely is Bednar. Inside, 3-0 the count. Just a little bit low, ball 4. It's going to bring up Harrison. Harrison, the right fielder. He steps in batting .356. He'll step in on the left-handed side to face the right-handed Cavalier pitcher. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Still no score. Runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Strike called. Breaking ball right through there. 0-1 the count. Comes the 0-1 from Ebert. Harrison fouls that away with a bunt attempt. Comes the stretch and the 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Harrison. Bottom of the second action, no score. 2 hits so far for the Cavaliers, 1 for the Blue Devils. Comes the 1-2 pitch to Harrison. Just misses a little bit up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on in the second. Gonna have a little meeting on the mound. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Bednar at second. He had a 2-out hit. Henry at first. He worked a walk. Harrison at the plate. Comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. So we go to the top of the third after 2. No score. We'll be back. Ortiz back for a third inning of work. Albeln, Shannon, and then back to the top of the order with Landon Wood. Derek Albeln, the designated hitter, takes strike at the knees on the outside part of the plate. Strike one called. He starts the day batting .355. Here comes the wind and the pitch. In the dirt. 1-1 the count. Derek Albeln. Stays up just a little bit. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Two balls, two strikes. Outside ball 3. So 3-2 the count on the designated hitter Albeln. Ground ball headed to Bednar. Bednar over to Hinestroza for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Blake Shannon, the third baseman. He starts the day batting .384. He's the number 9 hitter. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on. High ball 1. Comes the 1-0. Outside ball 2. So 2-0 the count on the number 9 hitter Blake Shannon. Inside ball 3. So 1 out, nobody on. 3-0 the count on Albeln, the designated hitter of the Cavaliers. Strike inside corner at the knees, so 3-1. Comes the 3-1. There's a line drive into left field for a hit. So a 1 out hit for the designated hitter Albeln. So back to the top of the order for the Cavaliers. Landon Wood will step in with a runner at first. Landon is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He had a base hit to right field his first time up. 1-0 the count to Landon Wood. just a little bit outside 2-0. Comes the 2-0 by Ortiz, swing and a miss. So 2-1 the count. Throw to first, back in safely is Shannon. Comes the 2-1, going to go to first again, back in safely again. In tight at third base, way in on the grass is Santiago. That ball misses low. So 3-1 the count, one out with a runner at first. Left-handed hitter Landon Wood at the plate for the Cavaliers. No score here in the top of the third. Misses outside, ball 4. It's going to bring up Amicangelo. He is from Bremerton, Washington. He will step in with one out and runners at first and second. Al Belden at second. Shannon at first. Landon Wood at first. A little bit low. So 1-0 the count. Comes the 1-0. Ground ball foul down the third baseline. One ball, one strike, one out. No score here in the top of the third. In the dirt, nicely blocked by Goodfellow. Two balls and a strike on Anthony Amicangelo, the right fielder. Comes the 2-1, way outside. Going to have a visit to the mound. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Orlando Ortiz still trying to get in a little bit of a rhythm. Tough day to have the wind blowing across your pitching. Here comes the 3-1. That's outside. Ball 4. So that's going to load the bases with one out. That'll bring up Anthony Slaughter. He had a high chopper base hit back to the pitcher his first time up. Slaughter is from Shawnee, Kansas. He'll step in with the bases full of Cavaliers and 1 out. Ortiz needs a ground ball hit right at someone here. There is a ball too deep left field, so a grand slam to put the Cavaliers up 4-0. Slaughter, the catcher. So that'll bring up Malik Williams. He'll step in with still just 1 out. Malik is from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He takes ball 1. Outside low. So a base hit after a ground out, then a couple of walks, then the home run. The home run doesn't bother you so much without the walks in between, but there's a foul ball. So 2 balls and a strike. So quickly, a home run makes it 4-0. With the Cavaliers still batting here with 1 out in the top of the third. There's a strike called, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a swing and a miss. Going to have to record it, and there is the strikeout recorded. So 2 outs. That's going to bring up Esposito. He was called out on strikes his first time up. He's from Overland Park, Kansas. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on to face Ortiz. There's a ground ball right back up through the middle for a base hit. That'll bring up Jacob Owens. Owens struck out swinging his first time up. Owens is from Shawnee, Kansas. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss of that breaking ball. 0-1 the count on the left fielder, Jacob Owens. Back in safely on the pickoff attempt. 0-1, 2 outs now. Blue Devils down 4-0 after that grand slam by Anthony Slaughter, the catcher. Outside. Gonna get him picked off. And so that will end the inning, but the damage done, a hit, a couple of walks, and then a home run. So 4-0 at the end of 2.5. We'll be back. Bottom of third we go. Ebert back for his third inning of work. Acosta, Harder, and Hinestroza scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Acosta will step in as he leads off here in the bottom of the third with his .342 batting average. Steps in to face Ebert. First pitch swinging deep to left field. Left fielder Owens is under it and has it for the first out of the inning. So back to the top of the order. Harder grounded out to the shortstop up the middle his first time up. Harder is from Topeka, Kansas. Squares to bunt, takes a strike called. If he doesn't square to bunt, that ball is called high a strike, or excuse me, high a ball. 0-1 the count to Acosta. Low and outside, ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Excuse me, to Harder. Comes the 1-1. Right through there for strike 2 called. Comes the 1-2. Fly ball to right field. Right fielder Amicangelo with that catch for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Hinestroza with 2 outs. Just misses a little bit outside. Hinestroza is from McLouth, Kansas. Foul ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Cavaliers, 0 runs on 1 hit for the Blue Devils. Here comes the 1-1. Strike called, outside corner at the waist. Comes the wind and the 1-2. Ground ball to the shortstop. Shortstop up with it and over to first for the third out. So Esposito over to Williams for the third out. Blue Devils trail 4-0 at the end of 3. Top of the 4th action. Blue Devils trailing the Cavaliers 4-0. Ortiz back for his 4th inning of work. Owens, Garrett Wood, and Albell scheduled up. There's a strike called outside part of the plate at the knees. 0-1 the count on Owens. It's going to be a base hit into left field for Owens. Owens is from Shawnee. Had another run down that brought him back to the plate. So a leadoff hit for Owens. That'll bring up Garrett Woods. He grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. Throw over to first, back in safely is Owens. Woods is from Claremore, Oklahoma. He squares to bunt, pulls it back for a ball. 1-0 the count on Garrett Wood. Comes the 1-0, squares to bunt again, and foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Garrett Wood, the second baseman. Throw over to first again. Hinostroza with the tag, but not in time. Owens back in safely. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 4th action. Grand slam home run in the 3rd for the Cavaliers. For them to lead 4-0. That ball's outside 2-1. Back in safely again. Comes the 2-1. Fly ball to deep left. That's going to plug the gap, hit the warning track. It's going to be an RBI triple for Garrett Wood. That'll bring up Allbeln. He is from Columbia, Missouri. He'll be up there with nobody out and a runner at third. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. Allbound grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. There's a strike outside corner. Strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike as Allbound bats here with nobody out in top of the 4th. There's a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the designated hitter, Allbound. Comes the 1-2, swing and a miss. So Allbound strikes out for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Shannon, the third baseman. He had a base hit his first time up to left field. He is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He'll step in with 1 out and a runner at third in Garrett Wood. 1 run in the inning, total of 5 for the Cavaliers. They lead 5-0, batting here in the top of the 4th. Swing and a miss. The third baseman, Blake Shannon, at the plate. 1 out, runner at third. Squares to bunt, pulls it back and takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on, 1 run in the inning for the Cavaliers. Comes the stretch and the pitch by Ortiz in the dirt. Nicely blocked by Goodfellow. 2 balls and a strike to the hitter, Shannon. Comes the 2-1. Turns to bunt, takes outside again. So 3-1 the count on Blake Shannon. Strike called. 3-2 the count on Blake Shannon. Comes the 3-2. Line drive into left field. That's going to be an RBI and a double for Blake Shannon. So back to the top of the order. Landon Wood will step in with 1 out. He's had a base hit and a base on balls. Inside, blocked, but just skips away from Goodfellow enough to allow the runner to move to third. So Shannon at third. 1 out in the inning, 2 runs in for a total of 6 for the Cavaliers. Comes the 1-0. Strike right through there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Comes the 1-1. Fly ball into shallow left field. Coming on hard is Henry. He catches it. Bluff to home. Throw made by Henry. So the second out of the inning made by a fly to shallow left field by Landon Wood. It's going to bring up Amacangelo. He's grounded out to the shortstop and walked in this game today. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first. Outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Amacangelo. He's the right fielder for the Cavaliers. Comes the 1-0. It's a line drive headed to the wall into the left field corner. It's going to be into second. He's going to go for third. And he's going to be in safely with a triple. That'll bring up Slaughter. Slaughter had the grand slam in the 3rd inning and a base hit in the 1st. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at 3rd. High, ball 1. Want to know the count on Slaughter. Strike right through there. 1 ball, 1 strike. 4 runs in the third, 3 so far here in the fourth for a total of 7 for the Cavaliers. Slaughter at the plate. Strike called. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Comes the 1-2 in the dirt, blocked nicely by Goodfellow. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Ground ball to Santiago. A short hop that handcuffed Hinostroza. So a throwing error and another run in. That'll bring up Malik Williams. He struck out his first 2 at-bats. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first. Line drive, foul down the left field line. Owen won the count on Williams, the first baseman. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Ground ball backhanded by Bednar. Long throw. We'll see if that's listed. I'm going to guess that that will be a hit. We'll see. It is scored a hit. Long throw after the backhand fielding by Bednar. Then after the hit, the throwing error allows the runner to move over. So 2 outs. That's going to bring up Esposito. He's the number 9 hitter to come to the plate in the inning. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. 8-0 lead by the Cavaliers. Esposito's been called out on strikes and had a base hit up the middle. He takes high ball 1. Two and 0 the count. High and inside, ball 2, 2-0. A little bit low, ball 3. So 3-0 the count. Ortiz behind 3-0. It's a foul ball. So Esposito with the green light and the 3-0 count there. So 3-1 to Esposito. There's a ground ball to Santiago. He'll go over to Harder. So 4 runs in the inning. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Trailing 8-0. We'll be back. Bottom of the fourth, Blue Devils have a bunch of work to do here. They trail 8-0. Santiago, Sosa, and Goodfellow scheduled up. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Santiago taking the first pitch and hitting a little chopper back to the pitcher. Santiago is from Ayayu, Puerto Rico. It's going to bring up Sosa. He'll be up there with one out and nobody on. Sosa from Hialeah, Florida. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 balls and a strike. That ball in the dirt. So 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Blue Devils trailing 8-0. Ebert back for his 4th inning of work. There is a ball up the middle to the backhand side of the second baseman. A hit for Sosa. So a 1 out hit brings up Goodfellow. He was called out on strikes. His first time up, he steps in with 1 out and 1 on. See if we can get something going here. Goodfellow is from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Takes ball 1. Comes the 1-0. Just misses low and inside. 2-0 the count on JT Goodfellow. Outside. So 3-0 the count. Comes the stretch and the 3-0. Little bit high, ball 4. So a 1 out walk. Going to have a visit to the mound. We'll see if there's a change made. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back. Visit is concluded. Kemper Bednar will step in. He had a base hit to right field his first time up. Kemper is from Shawnee, Kansas. He steps in with 1 out. Runners at first and second. Squares to bunt, takes inside, ball 1. Sosa at second. Goodfellow at first. See if the Blue Devils can start chipping away at this 8-0 lead by the Cavaliers. Here comes the 1-0. Strike called inside corner. One ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Breaking pitch inside and high. 2-1 the count. Comes the stretch and the pitch by Ebert. Strike called inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out to the shortstop, Kemper Bednar. Comes the 2-2. Foul ball down the right field line. Two balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Blue Devils trail 8-0 as they bat here in the bottom of the 4th. Ground ball toward the second baseman. He'll have to go to first and get Bednar. Moves the runners to second and third with 2 outs. That'll bring up Tyler Henry. Tyler, the left fielder, he is from Gardner, Kansas. He'll step in. With 2 outs and 2 on. See if he can get one up in the wind. Check swing called strike. 0-1 on Henry. Comes the 0-1. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to the left fielder, Tyler Henry. Just misses a little bit inside. 2 balls and a strike. Comes the 2-1. Strike 2 called. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. 2 outs to Tyler Henry, the left fielder. Foul ball off the top of the catcher's mask. There's a base hit into left field. It's going to score 1. Actually going to score 2. So a 2 RBI base hit to left field for Tyler Henry to get the Blue Devils on the board and to cut into that lead. So we're going to have a pinch hitter. Griffin Everett is going to pinch hit for Harrison. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first. 2 runs in to make it 8-2. Strike called inside corner. Comes the 0-1. Foul ball back to the screen. So quickly 0-2 the count. So a base hit and a walk and then an RBI. 2 RBI hit to left field by Henry. Everett pitch hitting for Harrison. Here comes the 0-2. Strike 3 called outside corner. So 2 runs in the inning. We go to the top of the 5th. Blue Devils trail 8-2. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, here we go. We have Matt Storch on the pitch, and he is lined to foul down to left, and Schrick is into right field. Matt Schrick. Low and outside, ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. To Jacob Owens. Low and outside, ball 2. So Owens has struck out, has a strikeout, and a base hit to left field so far today. He's up there with a 2-1 count. There is a ball fair into the left field corner. He's going to be into second with a stand-up double. So Owens with a leadoff hit. That'll bring up Garrett Wood. He's grounded back to the pitcher and had a triple to left center. He steps in with nobody out and a runner at second base in Owens. Takes ball 1. 1-0 the count. Storch with a 5.11 ERA. Two and 0 the count. Just misses a little bit outside. 3-0 the count. Top of the 5th action, Blue Devils trailing 8-2 with the Cavaliers in a running position, scoring position runner. There's a strike called. 3-1 the count. I won't even finish that. I was having a hard time getting that point out, so I'll just forget it. 3-1 the count. Runner at second. Nobody out. little bit low, ball 4. So runners at first and second, that's going to bring up Albeln. He's grounded out and struck out. He'll step in. Going to have a pinch hitter for the Cavaliers, Mason Hartman. He's from Wichita, Kansas. He's batting .333 on the year. He'll step in to pinch hit for Albeln. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. Comes the stretch and the pitch, and a bunt attempt unsuccessful. 0-1 the count. Hartman, the hitter. He is from Wichita, if I didn't say that. Comes the 0-1. Have a balk call. Guess we did not get a pause. 0-1. That will be no pitch. The runners move to second and third. Going to bunt foul. So the bunt is still on by Hartman, Mason Hartman.
I think this is the guy that said all you can do is bunt for his dad. That's a lefty that they have Kevin in for. You know,
0-2 the count. Comes the pitch. And a high chopper going to be a hit right out in front of the plate. Kind of came off at a funny angle. I thought maybe it was off of his foot, but ruled a hit. Going to load the bases for Blake Shannon. Shannon has a single to left field and a double into the left field corner for an RBI. He'll step in with nobody out and the bases loaded. Nicely blocked by Goodfellow. So 1-0 the count. Storch on in relief of Ortiz. 2-0 the count.
he walked against the wind. The wind.
A foul ball off the fence. Down the left field line, so 2 balls and a strike. Comes the 2-1. Breaking ball just stays a little bit inside. So 3-1 the count. Storch going to have to try and put something in the zone here to keep from walking in a run. Three and one the count. Nobody out. Bases full of Cavaliers. A double, a walk, and an infield single, so the base is still loaded. No runs in yet. There's a strike called right through there. So 3-2 the count on Blake Shannon, the third baseman. Comes the stretch and the pitch. Strike called inside corner for the first out of the inning. So back to the top of the order in Landon Wood. He had a base hit up the middle, a base on balls, and a fly out to left field. He'll step in on the left-handed side to face Max Storch. Comes the pitch, outside ball one, 1-0 the count. Comes the pitch, squares to bunt, a little bit low. 2-0 the count. On Landon Wood. Outside ball three. So 3-0 the count. No place to put this hitter. Cavaliers full on base. There's strike. Outside corner at the knees. So 3-1 to Landon Wood. Comes the 3-1. Strike two called. Outside corner again at the knees. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Bases full of Cavaliers. The Cavaliers lead as they bat here in the top of the 5th. They lead 8-2, threatening to do more. There's a fly ball down the left field line. That'll be foul.
That ball carried a lot. How much carry you got? That's everyday thing now. At this point, you know that?
Comes the stretch and the pitch by Storch. Just a little bit low, ball 4. So that base on balls will yield a run, making it 9. 9-2. That'll bring up Amacangelo. He's grounded out once, walked once, and tripled into the left field corner. It took a strange bounce off the wall. Otherwise would have been a double. There's a strike called outside corner at the knees, 0-1 to the right fielder, Amacangelo. Comes the 0-1. Foul ball backing out of play, so 0-2 the count on the right fielder, Anthony Amacangelo. Comes the 0-2. Foul ball back and out of play again. So 0-2 the count. Wood at third. Hartman at second. Wood at first. Landon Wood at first. Garrett Wood at third outside, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. Storch on relief of Ortiz. Here comes the pitch. There's a ball hit it into right field. Will score 2, so an RBI base hit for Amicangelo. So 1 out, runners at the corner. That'll bring up Anthony Slaughter. Slaughters has a base hit, a grand slam, and reached on an error. He'll step in with 1 out, runners at the corners. Ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Goodfellow. Want to know the count to the catcher, Slaughter. Outside and low, ball 2. 2-0 the count. Comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Two and one the count. In the dirt, 3-1. Comes the 3-1. Swing and a miss of that high fastball, so 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 3 runs in the inning for a total 11. Blue Devils down 11-2. Cavaliers batting here in the top of the 5th. Throw over to first, back in safely is Amicangelo. Comes the pitch. Fly ball into shallow center field. Coming on is Acosta, and he has that. Runner's going to try and score, and does score. Cut off. Try and get the run at second, and did not. So that sac fly makes it 12-2. Brings up Malik Williams. He'll be up there with 2 outs. He struck out twice and had a base hit into left field. Low. 1-0 the count. To the first baseman, Malik Williams. Comes the 1-0. Swing and a miss of that fastball on way inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs to Williams. Foul ball. We'll do the 1-2 again. Comes the stretch and the 1-2 from Storch. Ball deep to left field and off the wall. Going to end up with the ball bouncing strange off the wall, and Malik circles the bases. Makes it 14.
His knee's already messed up.
That's gone. Okay, that. I was like, that's gone. But then it died.
Foul ball backing out of play by Esposito. Esposito's been called out on strikes, had a base hit on the infield and grounded out on a fielder's choice. He'll be up there with 2 outs, nobody on. Inside pitch hits him, so Esposito's on hit by pitch. That'll bring up Owens. Going to have a visit to the mound. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Okay, Jose Amaro, 7.36 ERA from Sidra, Puerto Rico. He's on in relief. First pitch is high and outside, ball 1. Jacob Owens, the hitter. Strikeout and a base hit and a double. There's a strike called outside part of the plate at the waist. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blue Devils trail 14-2. There's a base hit into left field. So a base hit by Jacob Owens. He has a 3-hit game. That'll bring up Garrett Wood. Garrett's grounded out to the pitcher, had a triple and walked. He'll step in with 2 outs, runners at the corners. For the Cavaliers. Foul ball backing out of play over the third base dugout. Little bit high, ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 runners on. 6 runs in the inning. Cavaliers scored 4 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and 6 here in the fifth to lead 14-2. Outside ball 2. 2-1. Strike called outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. First game of the 2 today. Then the rest of the 4-game set will be 2 on Saturday at Johnson County's field. Comes the Amaro 2-2 pitch. Foul ball out of play over the third base dugout again. Comes the 2-2 in the dirt. 3-2. Comes the 3-2. Runner goes. Fly ball to deep left field. And Tyler Henry with the catch of that. After 4.5, Blue Devils trail 14-2. We'll be back. All right, we go to the bottom half of the fifth. The Blue Devils need 3 to keep this thing going. Acosta, Harder, and Hinestrosa scheduled up. Acosta's flown out to left field. He takes strike 1 right through there. Acosta from San German, Puerto Rico. That ball misses outside, so 1 ball and 1 strike to Eduardo Acosta. There's a ground ball headed into left field. So Acosta with a base hit to get things started here in the bottom of the 5th. It's going to bring up Harder. Harder grounded out to the shortstop and flew out to right field. Let's go Blue Devils, see if we can get something going, keep this thing going. You never know what'll happen. Comes the pitch, high and outside. 1-0 the count on Harder. Comes the 1-0. That's ball too high. So 2-0 the count on Trace Harder. Harder, the second baseman. He's up there with nobody out and a runner at first after Acosta's leadoff hit. There's a strike outside corner at the waist. 2-1 the count. Blue Devils trail 14-2 as they bat here in the bottom of the fifth. First game is a scheduled 7-inning game. A little bit high, ball 3. 3-1 the count. Comes the 3-1, ball 4. So a base hit and a walk to have runners at first and second. That's going to bring up Hinestroza. Hinestroza has grounded out to the second baseman and the shortstop. He'll step in with nobody out and runners at first and second. Outside and low, ball 1 to Eric Hinestroza. Ball 2 low. Comes the 2-0 pitch. There's a strike called. Ebert, the starting pitcher, and still on the mound here in the bottom of the fifth. Strike outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Runners at first and second. Acosta at second, Harder at first. Comes the 2-2. It's a ground ball headed to the second baseman, going to tag out and over to first for the double play. So that will bring up Santiago. He's flown out to right center and grounded back to the pitcher. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at third. Ebert trying to finish this up right here. That pitch is high and inside, ball 1. There's a breaking ball through there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ebert from Topeka, Kansas. There's a ball just inside the bag at first, so an RBI base hit off the glove of the third baseman, Blake Shannon. So an RBI base hit for Santiago with 2 outs. That's going to bring up Jose Sosa. Sosa has flown out and had a base hit to right field. Steps in with 2 outs and Santiago at first. There's a strike right through there. So 14-3 now the tally on the scoreboard. Blue Devils still need a couple more to keep this one going. There's a pop-up into shallow center field. The center fielder, Wood, takes care of that. So the first one of the day, the Cavaliers take 14-3. We'll take about a 20 to 30 minute break. We'll be back with the second one. Stay with us. Thanks for watching. We'll be back.